Standing resolutely on the rugged coast of Galicia in northwestern Spain, the Tower of Hercules is more than a lighthouse. It is a beacon of civilization, myth, and mystery. Believed to be the oldest functioning lighthouse in the world, its origins date back to the Roman Empire. Its stoic presence overlooks the Atlantic Ocean, having weathered not only centuries of storms and human conflict, but also a haunting legacy entwined with legend and tragedy. The Tower of Hercules was originally constructed in the 2nd century AD during the reign of Emperor Trajan. Its strategic location on the northwestern coast of Hispania made it essential for guiding ships safely into the port of Brigantium, the Roman name for the present-day city of A Coruña. Attributed to the Roman architect Caius Sevius Lupus, an inscription at the base of the tower still bears his name. The structure originally stood around 34 meters high, a monumental feat for the time, and was clad in Roman masonry, featuring a ramp spiraling upward inside the lighthouse core, an architectural hallmark of advanced Roman engineering. It served not only as a navigational aid, but also as a powerful symbol of Rome's domination over the edge of the known world, where the Atlantic was considered the end of the earth. Much of the tower's mythos comes from early Roman and pre-Roman traditions. According to local legend, the lighthouse was built by Hercules himself after slaying the giant Geryon. The myth claims that Hercules buried the head of the giant beneath the foundation of the lighthouse, and the city of A Coruña grew up around it. Roman records, such as those by Pomponius Mela and Strabo, describe a beacon in this region, which many scholars identify as the Tower of Hercules. The blending of myth and documented history only deepened the monument's significance. The lighthouse was also thought to have been aligned with constellations or ley lines, enhancing its mystical associations. During the Middle Ages, the tower fell into disrepair but never completely disappeared from public consciousness. The Visigoths, Moors, and later Christian rulers all recognized the structure's symbolic importance, although few had the resources or desire to maintain it. Medieval pilgrims on the Way of St. James often passed near the tower, and some accounts speak of spiritual experiences or visions while resting near its base. The association with Hercules transformed into Christian iconography, casting the tower as a metaphorical light of God, guiding the faithful through life's treacherous seas. The tower's image began to appear in local coats of arms and flags, reinforcing its role as a cultural totem. Interest in the tower revived in the 16th and 17th centuries, spurred by Renaissance humanism and a renewed fascination with Roman antiquity. European travelers and scholars like Ambrosio de Morales visited the site and documented its structure, praising its Roman craftsmanship. In the 18th century, King Charles III of Spain initiated a major restoration led by the architect Eustaquio Giannini. Between 1791 and 1792, the tower was remodeled in a neoclassical style, but care was taken to preserve its Roman core. The restoration elevated the structure to 55 meters and installed a functioning lantern, once again making it an active maritime lighthouse. The Enlightenment brought with it a rational lens, yet reports of unexplainable events during the reconstruction process, tools moving, disembodied whispers, were documented by workers and dismissed by engineers. The 20th and 21st centuries saw the Tower of Hercules rise in global prominence. Declared a National Monument of Spain in 1931, it underwent several conservation projects. The surrounding landscape was transformed into a sculpture park, enhancing its appeal to both tourists and academics. In 2009, it was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized for its unique blend of Roman architecture, historical continuity, and cultural significance. UNESCO lauded the lighthouse for its testament to Roman engineering and its role in the development of maritime navigation across centuries. Yet, as attention grew, so did the whispers about its more unsettling legacy. Given its proximity to the Atlantic Ocean, the tower has silently observed countless shipwrecks. The treacherous coast known as the Costa da Morte, or Coast of Death, has claimed hundreds of vessels over the centuries. From ancient Roman merchant ships to medieval caravels and modern steamers, the sea near the Tower of Hercules has proved deadly. One of the most documented tragedies was the wreck of the HMS Captain in the 19th century, which went down within sight of the tower, killing more than 400 crewmen. Survivors described a surreal light coming from the tower that seemed to flicker and pulse unnaturally, as if warning of doom rather than guiding to safety. Local fishermen continue to speak of strange fogs that form exclusively around the tower and the sound of spectral bells from sunken ships. While the tower has served as a marvel of architecture, it has also seen its share of human cost. During the 18th century renovation under Charles III, records indicate at least 6 workers died due to falls, collapses, or inexplicable equipment malfunctions. One particularly unsettling account tells of a mason who allegedly saw a shadowy figure atop the tower the night before his death, an apparition described as draped in Roman garb. Although dismissed as superstition, the frequency of accidents was noted even by Giannini himself in his correspondences, where he admitted a sense of unease about the site. In the 20th century, during electrical rewiring in the 1960s, a worker suffered a fatal electrocution. His co-workers later claimed the equipment had been inspected just hours earlier and found to be completely safe. The Tower of Hercules is not merely a Roman relic. Within its stone walls echo the whispers of countless legends and mythical stories passed down through the centuries. These tales are deeply rooted in Galician culture and folklore, blending ancient myth, maritime superstitions, and local oral traditions into a tapestry of mystery that has become inseparable from the lighthouse's identity. Arguably the most famous legend tied to the tower is that of Hercules and Geryon, a story that predates the Roman construction and weaves classical mythology with local storytelling. According to this tale, Hercules arrived at the edge of the world, what is now the coast of Galicia, during his 10th labour, which required him to retrieve the cattle of the monstrous king Geryon. Geryon was a formidable opponent, a giant with 3 heads or 3 bodies, depending on the version of the story. After a fierce battle, Hercules defeated Geryon and buried his head beneath a great stone on a promontory overlooking the sea. To mark the victory, Hercules erected a tower atop the site. This location, the legend claims, became the city of Brigantium, the ancient name for A Coruña. In some versions, the people Hercules saved from Geryon's tyranny became the city's first inhabitants. They named the city Crunia in honor of a woman Hercules loved, who is said to have died of grief shortly after his departure. Though historically unprovable, the legend is immortalized in the coat of arms of A Coruña, which features the Tower of Hercules and a skull at its base, symbolizing Geryon's buried head. This blend of myth and civic identity has cemented the tower's role not just as a monument, but as a mythical birthplace. Another prominent figure in Galician lore is Ohome de Faro, or the Lighthouse Man. Descriptions vary across generations, but he is most commonly envisioned as a tall, hooded figure in a tattered sea cloak, often seen walking the rocky perimeter of the tower on stormy nights. He's said to appear just before a maritime tragedy occurs, seemingly trying to warn sailors away from the treacherous waters of the Costa da Morte, the coast of death. Some stories depict him as a benevolent spirit, perhaps a former lighthouse keeper who died on duty and continues to protect seafarers in death. Others portray him as a malevolent omen, bringing disaster rather than averting it. In either case, his presence is always silent, mysterious, and cloaked in dread. Witnesses have reported seeing him vanish into the sea without leaving footprints or casting a reflection. In modern times, a handful of tourists and photographers have claimed to capture blurry figures matching his description in images taken near the lighthouse, particularly during foggy twilight hours. Another popular legend surrounding the Tower of Hercules involves the so-called cantos que cantan, or singing stones. These are natural rock formations scattered around the base of the lighthouse, particularly along the cliffside trail that leads to the sculpture park. According to local tradition, on quiet nights when the wind is just right, these stones produce low harmonic tones, almost like humming or distant chanting. Some believe the stones were enchanted by the Druids or early Celtic settlers of the region, while others claim the sounds are the mournful songs of the spirits of sailors who perished in the waters below. Scientists have suggested that the phenomenon might be due to wind patterns or vibrations in the granite rock, but the acoustic signature is sporadic and not easily reproduced, deepening the mystique. Many who have heard the stones sing describe the experience as both soothing and unsettling, a haunting lullaby from an ancient time. Among the darkest legends is that of the Cursed Keeper, said to be a 14th century guardian of the tower who lost his sanity after years of isolation and exposure to harsh elements. According to the tale, the man began speaking to the sea, claiming that voices were calling to him from the depths. His condition deteriorated over time, and one night, he is said to have climbed to the top of the tower and thrown himself into the crashing waves below. After his death, strange events were reported by those who followed him as keepers. Some claimed to hear his footsteps on the tower stairs or witness the lantern lighting itself without human intervention. In one chilling account, a keeper in the 17th century reportedly left his post in the middle of the night, claiming that the Mad One had spoken to him, instructing him to complete the leap. Even today, lighthouse staff occasionally speak of strange creaks or faint knocks on the tower walls, especially on windless nights when such sounds should not occur. Another eerie phenomenon often tied to the tower's mystical lore is known locally as tres luces, the three lights. According to witness accounts spanning decades, observers have sometimes seen three distinct orbs of light, white, red, and blue, hovering above the tower's summit at night. These lights reportedly move independently of the lighthouse beacon, often spiraling around one another before shooting out into the sky or disappearing over the ocean. These lights have been seen by both locals and tourists, and have led to widespread speculation. Are they the spirits of drowned sailors, celestial guardians, or even manifestations of some ancient energy tied to the location's powerful myths? Some link the lights to the old Triskelion symbols of Celtic origin, reinforcing theories that the tower is built on or near a site of ancient spiritual significance. Though no official explanation has been provided, the lights continue to be a topic of interest among UFO enthusiasts, paranormal investigators, and folklorists alike. What makes these legends so enduring is not just their eerie allure, but their deep integration into Galician identity. The Tower of Hercules is more than a lighthouse. It is a living monument to the mythic past. Every generation has added layers to its mythology, turning the site into a mirror of collective memory. Children in local schools learn both the historical and mythical stories of the tower. Art, music, and literature frequently draw on its imagery. Even the modern sculpture park that surrounds the tower features works referencing Hercules, Geryon, the Cursed Keeper, and other legendary figures, ensuring that the myths are not only preserved, but celebrated. For locals, the tower embodies the essence of Galicia, resilient, enigmatic, and forever looking out toward the ocean, where the known world ends and the legends begin. Despite its solid Roman foundations and long-standing function as a navigational aid, the Tower of Hercules has increasingly gained attention as a site of unexplained phenomena. From shadowy apparitions to strange auditory experiences, the lighthouse has attracted the interest of paranormal investigators, spiritualists, and thrill-seeking tourists alike. While skeptics cite natural causes such as coastal winds, magnetic fields, or overactive imaginations, those who have had first-hand experiences believe something far more mysterious is at play. Among the most commonly reported paranormal occurrences are sightings of shadowy figures within or near the tower, especially during twilight hours or just after dusk. These figures are often described as wearing cloaks or robes, some with details resembling Roman military dress. Multiple visitors have claimed to see one such figure watching them silently from the topmost balcony, only to vanish when approached. Security footage from the early 2000s captured what some believe to be a spectral silhouette pacing along the upper walkway, though the video was inconclusive. In 2017, a French tourist inadvertently captured a blurred figure on the tower's staircase in a photo, despite insisting the space was empty when she took the shot. That image later circulated among local paranormal groups. Visitors often speak of sudden drops in temperature, cold spots, particularly in the tower's central staircase. These drops occur without changes in weather or airflow, and are often accompanied by feelings of unease, dizziness, or even nausea. In several cases, tourists reported experiencing a momentary loss of orientation, as though space itself had subtly shifted. Others have described the sensation of being watched, even when alone. Interestingly, these sensory disturbances tend to happen in consistent locations, especially near the third landing, which corresponds with where workers perished during the 18th century renovations. A number of paranormal researchers have brought electronic voice phenomena equipment into the tower to capture unexplainable audio. In 2005, a Spanish paranormal team claimed to have recorded a faint Latin phrase, non revertetur, he shall not return. Though skeptics argued it could be pareidolia or misinterpretation, the recording drew significant attention. Other audio phenomena include whispered voices in Galician, footsteps echoing with no source, and the sound of crashing waves from inside the tower, even on windless days when the tide is low. During a maintenance inspection in the 1990s, technicians reported that tools would mysteriously disappear or be found in odd locations. In one case, a sealed toolbox was found open, with every item inside lined up neatly in a nearby corridor. Some staff have even refused to work alone in certain sections of the tower, citing unnerving experiences that defied logical explanation. Though there is no definitive proof of supernatural presence, the sheer volume of reports, many from unrelated sources over the decades, adds weight to the idea that the Tower of Hercules may be home to more than just ancient stone and sea winds. It may be guarding secrets far older and far stranger than Roman history can explain. Whether these occurrences are genuine or the result of imagination, their cultural weight is undeniable. The blending of Roman, Christian, and pagan symbolism has created a space where spiritual and material worlds seem to converge. Artists, writers, and filmmakers have used the tower as a backdrop for horror and mystery. Local festivals sometimes reenact the battle between Hercules and Geryon, and ghost tours now include the tower as a prominent stop. Psychologists suggest the power of suggestion, the isolation of the tower's location, and the atmospheric conditions contribute to the experiences. Yet for many Galicians, the tower is both protector and enigma, offering light while cloaked in shadow. The Tower of Hercules is more than an architectural wonder. It is a vessel of history, myth, and spiritual energy. Its foundations lie not only in stone, but in the collective memory and imagination of all who encounter it. Through wars, shipwrecks, restorations, and strange happenings, it has endured, watching the passage of time like an eternal sentinel. Whether viewed as a beacon of civilization or a haunted relic, the tower continues to captivate, offering both awe and a whisper of the unknown.